Hello everyone and welcome to the map Ashen Cradle here. Joining me, the bottom left corner, a 4v4 map, the first of today's highlight viewer submitted matches. It is a red Protoss, red probes belonging to Roach. Whoa there, Roach. They're blue Protoss ally just to the left here. It is Warpgate. Perfect name, I will say. Teal Protoss. Are there any non-Protoss here this day? It is Instigator. Starting stuff. A Zerg player to round out their team. Purple drones. It is Sandler. Okay. And team number 2, here, the upper right corner, belonging yellow probes. It is Tag. Like Tag You're It, maybe? Orange Terran player. Good, we've got all 3 factions at least. It is Centurion MK. Green Terran, so shiny too. Tyrador skin, it is. A name. We're going with small. It's small. and the pink Protoss rounding it all out, finishing it up. It is Great Oz. Wizard Protoss here. Not magical enough to shut down this cannon rush, though. We've got red Protoss. This is Roach whipping out the rush, whipping out the cannons. The rocks at the front, not gonna stop the probe from getting in here. That's a lot of probes, though. Yellow was not fooling around with this, not wanting to joke with this. The probe will be killed off, making another pylon, but nothing's really gonna come from that pylon at this point. Kill the probe, you kill the problem, right? Couple cannons on the low ground here, then. That's really going to be it, though. Roach, I mean, they started a gateway here. This is Roach's gateway to provide high ground vision. Yellow, bruh. Solid contribution, I would say. The singular cannon appears to be getting the job done. At least bringing down Yellow's gateway. If they can stop it, they... Oh my gosh, they both die roughly the same time there. Roach showing the true strength of Protoss is not in being able to make buildings on any pylon, but being able to have probes out on the map together. Second probe found, but also killed off. We have secondary cannon here on the low ground. This is pressuring Yellow. This is Yellow, Mr. Bruh, that we have for team number 2 so far. Curious to see what they will come up with, maybe for future statements, future insults. You know, oddly enough, this is Yellow's base, but I don't see a whole lot of Yellow army units here to defend. At this point, it's really Yellow's teammates are helping out. They've only got the one Zealot that was helping out with the gateway up at the top, I believe, but their team's helping them out. That's really what I'm trying to get into here. Couple Hellions go for the cannon, not the usual choice. The Zealot actually does walk down, gives his life for Ire, gives his life for his Nexus. I will say Tag finally stepping up, defending their own base right as Zerglings hit the field. The only Zerg player here is going to join this aggressive playstyle. There's an Oracle to help out here. Yellow was going for the Stargate. I don't think it's enough that they can actually get the Nexus. I don't think so. The Hellion Oracle combo looks to be fine enough to deflect the Zerglings, and at this point, I mean, what are the rest of them doing? We've had 2 of team number 1 here show a bit of aggression. Yellow responding in kind. They're mad. I'm sure they're fuming after this opening. Go for some drones. They get 7 kills. Oracle needs to get out of there at this point. What have the other two been doing, though? We have not seen Blue. Blue appears to be going for Charge and big gateway-related composition, and Teal has been going for Blink. So both of the other Protoss on their team going for mid-game relative builds, I would say. A couple opening aggressors, but a couple saying, I'll just sit back a minute, build up my stuff here. Quite good. Oracle comes in getting some more kills here. Yellow has not been idle. No issue dealing a bit of damage on the other side with this Stargate opener. Orange Terran cranking out Hellions is going for Blue Flame as well. Are they going to be going for a full mech build, or is it the Blue Flame battle mech? We'll have to see. Charge Zealots, not usually a good pick to go up against Hellions, but I also can't fault them for trying. That's really the best they've got at this point. 19 kill Oracle will be picked off, will be deflected here. We checked on team number 1. What's team number 2 been up to? We saw Yellow. Of course, we know Yellow's been building the Oracles, defending their own base, trying to get themselves up and running. Orange, definitely going for a battle mech style, I will say. We got Cyclones and Hellions hitting the field here. Yellow has been also going for Phoenix. Recall initiated, will not stop those units that are up in the air, though. Everybody working together. Pink appears to be going for a lot of Stalkers. They got Blink. Oh, they've also got a Templar Archives on the way. Okay. Not just Blink Stalkers, not just the one-trick Protoss pony here. We've got one going for Phoenix, one Stalkers. Orange Battle Mech and Green is currently making a few starports. We'll check on them in a minute after Teal is done with whatever it is Teal is doing up here. Wedging themselves into a funnel here. Oh my gosh, the recall goes out. Every Protoss recalling their recall here. Pink decides to go across. Other side here will be met with all three. The solid Blink terrain, actually. Great queuing up of the commands there. Pink desperately trying to get out of there. Should be successful. Can get to the rocks, too. Bleeding off a few Stalkers here. Blink across. Definitely. Teal mad. Oh my gosh, the Protoss blinking around here. It's quite action-packed, actually. I'm quite pleased. Green finally get a moment to check on them. And they're very Terran. I want to make Marines, but I'm getting starport upgrades here. Do the starports have tech labs? No, they're building reactors, actually. Is it going to be Liberators? Is it Vikings? Is it going to be Marine Viking? Unusual pick. And we don't even have stim on the way. We're getting combat shields first. Okay. I sincerely hope they get at least a few medevacs, maybe. Yellow, Phoenix count steadily rising. Everybody's now taking a brief moment to build up, it seems, upgrades. Looking around. Pink is definitely winning the upgrade front. They've got +3 on the way to. Way to go. Pink Protoss here knows what they're doing. The 3 Protoss forces for team number 1 all appear to be gathering just on the edge of the sensor tower range. They're going to go for the rocks? No? Yes? No? Oh my gosh. A lot of Marines ready to meet them, though. Not enough Marines to stop all 3 armies, though, especially with no stim, no medevac support. Will absolutely be destroyed. The Phoenix, who knew this fight was coming, saw the armies approaching, says, no, I'm good. Think I'll go across. Teal hits a stasis ward, goes after a few more rocks. Green's production is in a bit of peril. Pink, the next to respond, blinking up to the high ground here. We should be able to pick off at least a few of the Stalkers. The upgrade advantage does go to Pink. Their Stalkers are a bit stronger in this engagement, but there's a lot more, it feels, for the opposing team. Orange Mech here to support, here to help out. We'll check in. The Phoenix is recalled, actually. Okay. Phoenix is called back home. Gonna swing in now, help with the defense. Look at me, I'm participating. I'm so helpful. Sure, tag. Nobody saw you trying to get some damage done across the other side of the map, show up right as we've won the battle. Avert your eyes, Zerg. Oh, the barbecue. They had no chance. Phoenix trying to get a bit of damage done. Blink Stalkers and Archons ready to help out with the defense here for Warp Gate. The most perfectly named Protoss, I will say. Absolutely appropriate there. What's Purple been doing? I haven't really checked on the Zerg. They're going for a lot of Ling Bane, it seems. Oh, they're also whipping out the Ultralisk Cavern, too, though. Not too sure I like the idea of going for a lot of Zerglings up against players that have both Blue Flame Hellions and Archons here. And Phoenix, of course. Zerglings not able to climb on top of each other to actually hit the Phoenix, but I'd certainly try. There's one Burrowed Bane. Just one. Oh, who's got DTs? Instigator, the teal Protoss, showing those Protoss colors here. Whip out some Dark Templar, some Archons as well. I don't even see any detectors in this battle. Do we have observers on the field? There's one. Red's observer actually was here, but it's Red's observer, so it's not really going to help out against the Dark Templar. Blink Stalkers trying their best to pick off the Archons. There's no... Now there's detection? Now? Really? After the army's already gone? The Phoenix are not going to be able to lift up the Archons. A bit too heavy, a bit too bulky for those Phoenix Graviton beams. So that's only going to go so far, I think. Picking off the non-Archon units. Pink having to rebuild their Stalker army, being at the wrong end of the Dark Templar Psyblade. Definitely not helpful. Not ideal, I would agree. Orange kind of sitting back with everything except the Hellions. They've got 15 siege tanks that could be a part of a bit of a slow parade push here. Pink gets a little ambitious, I think, trying to get the jump on these Stalkers. Oh, Pink's got Dark Templar of their own here. Someone who's not afraid to build what they're seeing, too. It's not a pick-ban system, of course, with StarCraft. You don't have to not build a unit just because your opponent's building a unit. The Hellions showcasing their not that great strength at fighting buildings. Get a little bit of damage done up against the Lynx, and more importantly, I think, scout these Ultralisks here, which do not have their anabolic synthesis yet. They do have chitinous. Anabolic's almost done. Okay. Chitinous plating here, ready to help out siege tanks, desperately trying to set up, but that is a lot of Ultras, actually. That is 13 Ultralisks here. Tempest and Mothership here to help out. Cloak will be initiated. The Tempest should absolutely be able to clean this up. The question is, how much damage are the Ultras going to do in the meantime? The good old bull in a china shop issue. Green and Pink deciding to work together, join forces. Green unlocking the hard-earned formidable Terran technology of Medivacs here, going to help out their Marines handily. Pink circumventing a bit of the forces around here, letting Green deal with most of the army. I kind of agree with the choice. Bioforce is not to be underestimated, especially with rocking 2-2 here. Green having no issue holding those upgrades. Now that they got everything together, they needed a little more time, I will say. They're a bit lower. They're a bit slower on the APM chart. I'm not surprised. It took a little bit longer to get their pieces together, but once they got them, good to go. Absolutely. Looking fine there. Terran composition. Check here, upper left, Phoenix struggling to figure out how to actually deal with an Archon and an Ultralisk. Phoenix not the ideal choice for both of those units, I will say. Dark Templar weaving their way into the main base of Red here. Red's army, where are you? 3 Archons, that is it. That is all that Roach here has to their name. An impressive DT. Was that a DT Blink? You have DT Blink, good sir. Yes, you do. Pink Protoss getting the jump on a group of High Templar even. Archons now struggling to continue the fight here. Green and Pink working together to deal with that. Check here on the upper left. Ultras moving up against the siege tanks, the Thors. With no detection in play, those Ultras are going to have a serious struggle, and players are beginning to tap out. Green's Bio Ball, Pink's Dark Templar Stalker completely working their way through the bases now, and the armies in the upper left have crumbled, so all 4 players are going to call it. That was 15 minutes of pretty well non-stop action, though. Good job, everyone, all included there. Beautiful, wonderful, chaotic match even. That is not all for today, though, folks. I've got one more on the menu. For the second match of the day, we find ourselves on familiar 1v1 map territory. It is Abyssal Reef here under the water. The Terran player landing in the blue colors here. The upper left belongs to KTWA. What does it stand for? I guess we're all going to be able to make our own interpretation. I'm going with, I of course just recently finished we're doing a tangent. We're finished the Warcraft 3 playthrough. I'm going to go with Kel'Thuzad was awesome. Because Kel'Thuzad was awesome, okay? And their opponent here, the Red Terran, we got a TVT here. Bottom right, it is Rip Maya Noose. Don't know what Maya did to get stuck with the noose, but somebody needs to rip it so they can actually breathe. They don't have to be put to the gallows. Excellent. TVT with a bit of an ambitious start here. Command Center first being slapped down. Intriguing, impressive even. Blue, love your gumption, son, but you might be a bit in over your head here. Let's see, how will Red respond? Red, of course, has not actually scouted yet, and is going for what I would call a more normal Reaper expand. I did not catch if either of these players were random in the loading screen. I was not paying attention. I'm going to assume they both picked Terran, just for comical value, you know, comedic factor, I suppose. That way I can make claims like, he went Command Center first in TVT, but if it was random, you know, it's kind of throws the dice a little bit. Command Center first up against a random is just like, I am just leaving my fates to the deities above, and if I get blamed, or if I lose this match, I'm going to blame the universe and not me. Command Center first and pray. Good old classic build, I will call it. The Reaper's going to head across them, orbital on the way, bunker set up as well. Also an intriguing. I'm more intrigued in the placement, actually. This is pretty close to the command center. Reaper's going to enter the main base here. Start to pick on some of the SCVs. Go for the one that's building stuff. I like the choice. Just a little quick action here. This is, I'll say, the downside to the command center first play is the Marine, especially if you go for a Marine follow-up, it's not quite ready in time to stop whatever first unit is, but the Reaper's not going to get a whole lot done. Just one kill. Bouncing around. You really should probably take a look at the natural, though. Like, that's important. It's TVT. It's very important that you know what your opponent is doing. You go and you see that second base completely done. You see the bunker. You're like, okay, things are looking fine. Not unreasonable. The bunker in the back of the base. Curious choice. Very interesting. Oh my gosh, this one SCV with 1 health? Poor thing. Reaper circumvent's actually gonna still go for it. I'm a little surprised. Marine on a scouting rally path, I think. Is your barracks... No, the barracks is not rallied. Very curious. Looks like the Reaper's end is met. Did he get another SCV? I think so. Yeah, he got the red health one. Only 1 health point left. No more. SCV joins his ancestors, joins those who came before him. Both of them are starting to just build up a little bit now. We've got a siege tank on the way. I think I'll speed this up slightly here while they're macroing TVT. Of course, I expect it to be a little bit of a lengthier setup, a little bit of a longer match. We can speed through little bits and pieces. TVTs, it depends on the players. Some players, they have this little like silent agreement not to attack each other for 10 minutes, and they all just build up and then begins the chess game. Others, though, it's like, I have one siege tank. Go time. I don't want to play TVT any more than you do. We're gonna just end this. We will see if either of them favor either setup. Banshee. That's a choice. Little ambitious of a choice, I say. And really? You're one of those players? Blue. Mr. Kel'Thuzad was awesome here, is thinking, I don't really want to play TVT. I think I'll just try to end the match. Tank setup, beautifully positioned here. Just have to keep the vision. Scan. Keep... Quick, do it again. Oh, the Vikings will help out. Yeah, see, Viking, you needed high ground vision here, my friend. You should win that siege tank fight. Stop the sensor tower building, too. Oh, yeah, I don't think you can really move up here. This is... Why are you doing this? Like the attack, you have 6 Marines to your name. You've got at least a few Vikings. You'll have air control. Red's Banshee, thus far decorative in the upper right. That Raven made us. Well, that Raven really should be staying home. Also, no Marines? You have 4 Marines, and one of them's across the other side of the map. What is this? Well, if you lure his forces into your siege tanks, I guess that's fine enough. Oh my gosh, the Vikings are killed off too? That was Blue's blunder. Okay. Blue walking everything into the range of the siege tank and the Cyclone here. The single Marine. This bunker shall fall. Not anymore. Ooh. Oh man, he kind of exploded. Avert your eyes there. Banshee in the upper left makes its move, gets a bit of damage started here. SCVs thus far focused on their work, on their craft. Their StarCraft. Gets a siege tank too, no way. That's helpful. Marauders decide now is go time. We're going to move up the ramp. Siege tanks both very injured, but it's enough to break the natural. The Banshee sitting at a comfortable 12 kills. SCVs finally react, finally respond. We'll get out of the dodge apparently. Plenty of Vikings shut the Banshee down at this point. So replacement being made though. Red seems to actually want Banshees to favor that setup. Engineering Bay on fire, literally. Good job, Engineering Bay. Well done. Earning that raise, that bonus. We got here missile turrets, yes. Why would anybody not build a missile turret after having to deflect a 12-kill Banshee? This Raven, just gathering energy so far. Still could place auto turrets here and get out this way, so it's not hopeless, I will say, for a little bit of harassment. Oh, the Engineering Bay, under fire. You really... Gosh, Red, I think you're making things harder for yourself at this point. Go for the injured tanks first. Oh, they get one, at least. Thankfully, they get one siege tank. Blue is really setting up a strong composition here. Why the Marauders kind of surprises me, but... You know, I haven't seen a whole lot. The Widowmine field here does great success. Quite a bit of damage up against the Marauders. Not going to do a whole lot else, though. Ooh, gets the Viking with one, too. Very nice to see. Siege tanks now starting to occupy the natural here. Things are not looking good, I would say, for the Red Terran, who at this point only has one Raven to their name, with 0 kills, a little bit of damage on its hull, and is decorative. Things are really not looking good at this point. Siege tanks need to focus it down. I think the Marauders still gonna even the odds there. My heart pouring out for this Red Terran. we've all been on the receiving end of this TVT style. Somebody gets aggressive, and you just don't have the tools to break it. I will say part of it's because this Red Terran seems to be allergic to making Marines, but at the end of the day, I still know the pain, I know the struggle. They do have a few alternative bases, I'll call it. You're setting up some bingo bases even in the upper right, so they're not dead. And they're gonna get 3 of the siege tanks. That's really helpful. Focused on the 4th too. I think they'll get it. These Banshees are coming in really handy, actually. Blue not quite dealing with them. Also, Blue hasn't made any Ravens. I'm surprised. SCVs, boys are pulled. Vikings on deck. Marauders fully surrounded, but it's a lot of SCVs. They're still going to break through a decent amount of them. Banshee's now here to help out. And with the Vikings gone, there's not really any contest to the Banshees. Red has managed to stay alive. Thankfully, that starport was so far back that it wasn't one of the first production structures destroyed. I don't really think you need supply depots right now, my friend. You're 46 of 91. You've also got command centers out the wazoo, so to speak. So, at this point, I think what you need is just army units. You need to really just kind of build up. You need some SCVs replaced too. 27 workers up against the 40 for blue. Well, that works too. I don't need to build workers if I just destroy his, I suppose. Auto turrets, Raven, gets 6 kills. I think that's going to be the end of that one, though. Oh, auto turret thrown down. We'll get one of the Vikings. No. Oh, good. He doesn't get it. Okay. Phew. Thought that auto turret was going to whip out 2 Viking kills, too. I was like, okay, that's pretty effective. I like that, but... Let's see, Blue's adding on the 3rd command center. They are a bit behind just in terms of base count, but they are still winning worker and army production. Things, I will say, currently looking pretty good for Blue. We'll see how the next few minutes unfold. No, didn't see that one. Oh god, the Viking called back home to deal with the Banshees. Look, Banshee's helping out. The missile turret is providing the detection right now. There's not... Okay, there's 1 scan ready to go. It will clean up this Banshee at least then. That's it for right now, though. They've only got the 2 orbitals. Oh no, they've got a 3rd one over here, but it's lifted. Marines shutting that one down. Shutting down the mining. Cease your activities at this location, Red says. Behind this, Red's just continuing to steadily build up as well. This is a lot of Marauders. Why do you love Marauders so much? I mean, Marauders are pretty cool. I will say they're cool dudes, for sure. TVT, Marauders usually only to deal with somebody that you've identified as going mech kind of early on, and you don't want to have to go mech yourself. You want to try to just snipe them down pretty early. The bio versus mech composition, but I'm not too sure about this exact situation when most of what you have seen thus far has been Banshees. The Marauder is really the best choice. The Vikings should be able to get that orbital. Marauders witness the planetary fortress and decide that's not worth their time, I suppose. Really? You're letting it go? Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. It might burn. Red seems to be tending to it, though. Group of Marines marching across the other side will get a bit of more damage done. We're evening up the worker count, actually. 29 to 30. Siege tank brought up to the front, starts to deal with the planetary fortress. Oh god, the orbital, though. Really? Like, trading, maybe. Things starting to slowly swing back into Red's favor. They get the orbital. That was the mining 3rd. The main and the natural are starting to run out as well. Marauders called back home. Will deal with the Marines quite easily. Check back over here. It's still just the 1 siege tank up against the planetary. What's the plan here, Red? Are you going to clear this? Bring up a siege tank of your own. That's an option. If we had a Raven and a lot of Marines, we could interference matrix. Another option, I suppose, is air control. Get a Liberator. Although the Banshee could suffice for air control for dealing with the siege tank as well. Marauders. I might start to cause a Marauder-shaped fire over here in the natural. These naked barracks. Just trying to crank out 3 Marines at a time. Inefficient production. Siege tank's going to help out to support, and now Red has to deal with this on 2 fronts. Not fun in the slightest. Couple Widow Mines over on the other side. I see you making more Banshees, which will deal with this force actually handily. It's Marauders and a siege tank. No anti-air capability. There's 1 Viking over with the other group that's still not really making a whole lot of progress. Red has plenty of money to keep up with the repairs, thanks to actually having a mining base. Oh, is it go time? Stimming the bio moving forward here. Widow Mine's trying to help out, but that is a beautiful arc of Terran forces. The planetary will fall. Siege tank is feeling quite victorious, I'm sure. Banshee. There's just a few Marines. The Banshee should be able to get the Marines too. Now it's mainly just the Marauders. There's still 4 Marines, which if there's detection, I'll say the Banshee loses that battle. Oh my gosh. Okay, the scan goes out. Banshee will be cleaned up and get hit by its parts. Ooh. The Widow Mine's coming in handy too. 3 kills, 1 kill on them. Quite a bit of damage going out. Banshee, still the choice from Red, and like, I don't know about the Banshees. I feel like it's working in this situation, but wouldn't in others. This player seems allergic to making Ravens. Blue, I mean, just no concept of building a Raven, huh? Or a lot of anti-air. They love their Marauders. Were they going up against a ground-based composition, I will say it'd probably be quite beneficial, quite helpful. But at this point, Natural has mined out. Boys unsure of their purpose in life now. The depots reign supreme, keeping the Viking out a little bit there. A couple more landed at the far right. Worker count in favor of blue, but not necessarily in terms of mining, because the main is almost mined out. Natural's completely empty. Everything's kind of riding on this third base, which is also not an orbital. What do we have as far as detection? It's just the 2 orbitals. There's no scans though. Oh my gosh, the Natural's the closest at 38 energy. The Banshees are gonna have no trouble as long as they can stay cloaked. And they're making 4 Banshees at a time. I think they've recognized the detection's just not there. This player has not made a single Raven the entire game. Well, lifted buildings, I suppose, shut that down a little bit. A few Vikings will land in the main base to deal with the missile turret, which might be the only missile turret. No, it's not. Okay, there's more. Keeping the Banshees away. Marines will have a bit of success with that one. So the cloak, though. As long as the Banshees can cloak, they're fine. And that's it? Really? Blue, with more workers at this current point in the match, with more army production, is going to tap out because of the Banshees. Well done. Good, I'll say, identification of maybe the tool to use in this case, this situation. Blue, I think, probably just was really frustrated dealing with the Banshees. My friend, my dear KTWA person, Ravens. Marines and Ravens, okay? It's that simple, really. Raven, even Vikings. You had Vikings. Make a Raven with your Vikings. Make a Raven with some Marines. Red, well done. Good, solid, staying calm, losing your natural, but still bouncing back. I would say next time, try not to lose your natural. That's always a helpful tip, I would say. Make more Marines. Call it good. You can make a Raven, too, and interfere in some siege tanks. Yeah, at the end of the day, thank you very much, everyone, for the submissions. If you enjoyed be sure to let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.